afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Please sit down, Pranita.
Thank you, sir.
Pranita, how is your surname pronounced?
Sir, Dash.
Das.
Yes, sir.
So, how come H has got added to this name? I've seen many people with this name. What is the background for adding this H?
Sir,
There are
Das.
people without H, with H, same spelling, same pronunciation?
Sir, Das, D-A-S surname, it's a Bengali surname essentially. And sir, Dash is more of an Odia surname. And so it kind of belongs to the Brahmin community of Odisha. So that's the major
Just to
difference.
distinguish.
Yes,
But
sir.
the pronunciation is the same.
No,
Sir,
it is Dash.
Dash.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
Dash.
Yes, sir. And D-A-S is pronounced as Das.
No, but I had a IAS colleague who spelled it as Dash, and I asked him, and he said, okay, the pronunciation is Das only.
Sir, I pronounce it as
Yeah,
Dash.
so you of course, it's your name, you would know better. How is Odisha pronounced?
Sir, Odisha.
Odisha.
Yes, sir.
That is not pronounced as Shah. It's
Sir,
not.
Like people with more a tint towards English pronunciations, they
But no, the
definitely-
Odias will
Odisha.
pronounce it as Odisha.
Odisha. Yes.
Odisha. So how come H got added there? Do you have any idea of the background?
Sir, it was earlier Orissa, but then sir, in 2014 it was changed to Odisha,
Yeah.
and so that is because it more of corroborated with the Odia phonetics. So, sir,
But phonetically, if Odisha is Odisha, so H, where does H come in?
sir, I think it has got to do something with the spelling. Sir, I am not
Yeah.
sure about it, but sir, I'll read
suggest
it.
you may like to find out about it. Now, we noticed that you studied in Kolkata, to be precise, London, Cambridge, but your dances and your art and culture is all from Delhi. When did you come to Delhi?
No, sir, I have not pursued these art forms by residing in Delhi. So these are the organizations that have conferred me the degrees.
Oh, but
Yes,
you were
sir.
not in Delhi yourself.
No, sir.
Oh, I was wondering how come in this thing you came to Delhi at all. So, well, finally, before I pass you on, mother's school.
Yes, sir.
Who was the mother?
Sir, it has no like legacy attached to it. Sir, mother's school was just a way of, sir, just a way of saying that it is the role of a mother that plays the most significance in terms of
It is nothing to
nurturing
do
a
with
child.
Mothers International, Aurobindo Ashram,
No, sir.
the other mother.
No, sir.
You know, Pranita, I would like to ask you something about your academic background.
Yes, sir.
You have done an MSc and you have done an MPhil, and you have done it from very distinguished institutions. You have at the same time been applying for civil services all along.
Yes, sir.
So where did you take these exams? You took these exams in England, or did you come back to India to take these exams?
So I completed my bachelor's in 2018, after which I moved to London for my master's in economics. Sir, after returning from London, I appeared for civil services examinations. Sir, I have only started my MPhil degree last year, 2022, which I'm currently pursuing. So,
How long did you stay in Girton College?
Sir, Girton College, I have been there for 5 to 6 months now. Sir, I started my course in September 2022, right
Alright.
after my
So
main.
there was a gap between your MA in London, MSc in London, and then came back and so on.
Yes, sir.
You did not qualify for the interviews
No,
in
sir.
any of the earlier attempts.
Because this is my first mains as well as my first interview.
And what is the option which you took in the past attempts?
Sir, I was not, I did not get a chance to appear for the mains examinations in my earlier attempt. But my optional is economics.
Which is what you have studied all along.
Yes, sir.
There is some Mayurbhanj connection.
Yes, sir.
What is the Mayurbhanj connection? Why is Mayurbhanj famous?
So it's famous for quite a lot of reasons. First of all, the abundance of iron ores that are present in Mayurbhanj, it makes it a very mineral-rich district. Apart from that, sir, Mayurbhanj is very famous for its proximity to Simlipal Biosphere Reserve, which is also instated in the UNESCO's World Network of Biosphere Reserve. In addition to that, sir, the Mayurbhanj Chhau, which is performed in Mayurbhanj, is also very prolific as an
Would you tell me,
art
because
form.
you are interested in art, literature, music, and culture, what is the difference between the Mayurbhanj Chhau and the Purulia Chhau?
So the major difference is with the usage of masks. In Mayurbhanj Chhau, masks are not used. The expressions, the face remains expressionless, and only the source of expression are the body movements as well as the.
Very good. I'll pass you on to Ambassador. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pranita, you had economics as your optional, right?
Yes, sir.
So now G20 is supposed to be the premier economic forum
Yes,
for ensuring global financial and economic stability. What have been the major achievements of the G20 in this domain?
So G20 was started as a multilateral platform to discuss the economic issues, especially after the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Sir, after which G20 sir, has proved its mettle in terms of ensuring sir, economic as well as financial resilience in the world economy. Sir, some of its major achievements could be sir, the base erosion and profit shifting initiative that it had furthered. Apart from that, sir, the current G20 platform, it's also catering to the inflationary pressures or the supply chain disruptions that have been happening. It is essentially an economic platform, but it is also catering to the climate change issues or the issues of war that has come up in the recent years. So, sir,
The issue of war.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there we have a big disagreement between the West and Russia and China, because Russia and China say that G20 has no mandate to discuss political issues. War is a political matter, but the West says that no, war has a big impact on the global economy, in particular the Russia-Ukraine war, and that is why it must find mention in the joint statement. What is your view?
Sir, even I feel that although G20 started as an economic forum, but the current issues of Russia-Ukraine conflict, it has fed into the world economy a lot. When I mentioned about the inflationary pressures that have been building up, so resulting in huge energy prices in UK specifically, or all over the world economy. Other than that, sir, the trade disruptions that have taken place because of the supply chains being disrupted. So, sir, that have economic ramifications, and that is why I feel that its inclusion in G20 mandate is very much justified at this moment.
Now, one of the big issues that the G20 deals with is the Sustainable Development Goals. What has been the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war on the Sustainable Development Goals?
Sir, so starting with the economic scenario, sir, world is going through a slowdown, and that definitely has impact on the overall poverty as well as inequality. There are issues of hunger, sir, especially from my experience in UK. Sir, in January, a lot of the residents of UK had to rely on charity organizations for food because there is so much scarcity when it comes to food. There is shortages in retail markets. So, sir, these are some developmental issues that have come up due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And, sir, I feel that with these kind of violence and aggression that is taking place, these have impacts on overall the infrastructure or the industrial development. So I feel, sir, the inequality could further be worsened in this case.
How many Sustainable Development Goals are there?
Sir, 18.
18?
So sorry, 17. I'm so sorry about this.
So which, according to you, is the most important among the 17 goals?
Sir, according to my opinion, sir, I'm very passionate about the issue of hunger. So I would like to envision a world where no person goes to sleep hungry.
Okay. Now, to remove hunger, you need obviously a huge financial corpus in order to. What is India doing to tackle the problem of hunger?
So So India has taken a few steps, starting with the public distribution system. It kind of tackles the double issues of nutrition as well as hunger. Apart from that, sir, the PM Matru Vandana Yojana and midday meal schemes, they are also trying to tackle the problem of hunger. So during COVID, when there was acute scarcity, government pushed for PM Garib Kalyan Yojana, where food grains were made available. So these, sir, I think have been major steps by government.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ms. Pranita, it's economics writ all over your DAF that dominates like anything. It almost begs the question that why you wouldn't want to become an economist and academician instead of trying to become a pen pusher, the way sometimes pejoratively civil servants are called in India.
So there are a few reasons. So having grown up in a family of public servants, I was always drawn towards the idea of positively and meaningfully contributing to the society. So apart from that, I feel, so I entered into the world of research thinking that making well-crafted policies is the issues. But so with my experiences, I have realized that the main issue is at the implementational level. And I would like to be a part of the governance scenario where I could play a role utilizing my research skills as well as my fundamental understanding of economics to further the process of evidence-based policy making that could have substantial impacts on the lives of vulnerable.
Okay. As it's well known that half of the population is dependent on agriculture, 45 point something. But for such a long time, economists are emphasizing one thing. They're unanimous in their prescription that the manufacturing sector probably could help us absorb those hands which are underemployed or unemployed. But I just noticed with honorable member a question that you are mentioning, the energy prices all over the world, they're rising, and that's a fact.
Yes, sir.
So the rising energy prices puts the big burden on the manufacturing sector.
Yes, sir.
And it becomes even less competitive. So do you think that the challenges ahead for unemployment, looking at the manufacturing sector doing it well, but the energy sector is one. Which are the other challenges manufacturing sector do you think in present times would be facing in India?
Sir, I think government is pushing forward for holistic development of industrial sector with its schemes on skilling or maybe the production linked incentive. So I feel according to me, the logistics sector could be a major challenge, especially because of our underutilization of the inland waterways. So sir, I think if those kind of challenges are tackled as well as skilling the labor force, sir, industrial sector could see a more inclusive development.
Inland waterways is the textbook solution that we have been needing for such a long time. Can you recall any important initiative in recent times?
Sir, sir, I'm aware of it, but I'm not able to recall the exact.
Okay. There's another aspect is that India has just announced its the new trade policy. And usually the trade policy would be made taking into the exigencies of the present, and based on that, it would have a sunset clause as well. But right now, there is no any sunset clause. That means it goes on ad nauseum. So what is the merit in having such a trade policy where you just simply have to make a few tweaks here or there, but it would not be having the kind of the real look at it like we had previously every 5 years. So do you think it's a better option or better strategy?
Yes, sir. I think because the problems, they keep changing and we can't overhaul our policies in a very frequent manner because any kind of materialization of a policy takes time. The major change that has taken place in the current trade policy is that it has moved from an incentive based to a tax remission based incentive scheme, and that is, sir, I think more important when it comes to the scenario of India, because even when companies are incentivized, like the production linked incentive, there are other issues that they have to deal with, sir, in terms of enforcement or land acquisition, or sir, the ease of doing business. So I think tax remission can play a very good role in furthering that.
So these are the things that you were talking about that possibly could strengthen this policy. But apart from this sunset clause, which is not there, which sounds so new, so novel, apart from that, what is so new in it? $2 trillion, that is another very
Yes, sir.
startling, sounds very
Yes, sir.
good. But then do you think it's attainable? With
Sir,
the time frame that it has fixed itself?
yes, sir. It has, I think, set a target of 2 trillion exports through its policy. Sir, I'm optimistic that with the kind of participation India is having in the global value chains, as well as diversifying its markets, sir, I'm optimistic that this kind of target could be achievable by India.
Okay, now that you want to become a civil servant and you are investing, when I say investing, there is a lot of puns on that. A lot of time and money and efforts, energy, parents' expectations, community's expectations. So, if you were to start your school and college all over again, would you do the same things to become a civil servant?
Definitely, sir. I think with my experiences, I have gained quite a lot, be it in terms of exploring a lot of academic opportunities, be it my exposure towards the cultures and traditions of foreign countries, also be it my involvement in performing arts. So those have only shaped me as an individual. Those have instilled a kind of discipline and consistency in me. So I also feel that those qualities have also instilled a sense of creativity in me. I have always been on the path of experimentation.
So you would not do anything different if you were to start a decade back all over again?
Sir, I'm quite happy with how my journey has shaped up, and sir, I wouldn't change anything about it.
Okay, one last question. This de-dollarization, the yuan is leading the world. We cannot be that strong because that's the kind of the countries are lining up. But then, what kind of the problems India would have with the de-dollarization? Because the Vostro accounts are easiest to open.
Yes, sir.
But apart from that, which are the biggest hiccups that the Indian rupee can face?
So, first of all is the global acceptance of dollars. So any kind of the trade payments or sir, the investments, they are mostly made in dollars. So, government is pushing for
No, you are a
international.
highly accomplished and the professional in economics. You go to a classics student, your alma mater, you go back and they ask you that how exactly the Vostro account works. So how would you explain it to them?
So, Vostro account is something, so where an account is maintained by a third bank in any other.
Third?
So, like it is an account that is
No, suppose
maintained in a bank.
two countries are
by-
doing trade. Country
sir.
A is exporting and country B is importing.
Yes, sir.
Then who will be opening the Vostro account?
So the country that is exporting, it will be making the account, and sir, the country that is importing will keep the money in that bank account. So, sir, that is.
And when the
essentially-
role reverses, then what will happen?
So it could create some fluctuations in the exchange reserves, I feel. So there could also be less acceptance of.
The importer puts money in the Vostro account in rupee terms, and when they have to buy something, so the money will be
Yes.
deducted from the same account. So, because you remember you were explaining it to a
Okay.
school student.
Sir,
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, you were saying something.
No, sir, what I was saying is that this could create some fluctuations in the exchange rate as well.
That will certainly, that
Yes,
goes
sir.
on. That goes on. Fluctuation
Okay,
keeps
sir.
happening. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Been
Thank
very
you,
nice
sir.
interacting with you.
Thank you, sir.
You seem to be fairly in command of your subject, and I'm only surprised that it's taken you so long to crack the UPSC and get what you want.
Yes.
Expect questions from your DAF all over the place, whether it is Gandharva Mahavidyalaya, whether it is Hindustani classical music, whether it is Odissi dance, whether it is Mayurbhanj Chau, where is your, why is the Odisha spelled this way or that way, tradition of Kalinga, things of that kind. You also maybe ask questions about your educational sojourn in England,
Yes, sir.
and you probably are reading a newspaper regularly.
Yes, sir.
Which ones are you reading?
So the Indian Express, the Hindu, and I have started to read business standards since the last.
Excellent, is a very good combination. Are you taking notes from them?
Yes, sir.
On a sheet of paper, physical notes and keeping them intact?
Yes.
I think the only two things which you have to do, when is your interview?
So 17th of April.
So you have about a fortnight, a little less than a fortnight,
2 weeks.
but good enough, and you can prepare this way.
You're doing
and
almost everything right.
Thank
So
you,
I
sir.
hope you have a
Yeah, you're very bright. You're very bright. You're an excellent candidate and with great credentials.
Thank
Both
you,
these scholarships in London and Cambridge, you got scholarships,
Yes, sir.
fully funded.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Because of your performance, there was a test, something, or on the
No, sir, because of my academic achievements in the previous.
previous.
Yes.
Okay. And are you have a Calcutta connection and you have Bhubaneswar connection.
Sir, I was born and brought up in Odisha, but I moved to Calcutta for my graduation.
So, what do you know about the controversy about the ownership of Rasgulla?
So, given that both the places have got GI indicators, it suggests that the two versions of Rasgulla, they differ. So, like the Bengali version of Rasgulla, it is more chewy in nature, and sir, the Odia version is more softer. But sir, the Odia version of Rasgulla, it has been mentioned in an Odia scripture, which was written by Balram Das.
So,
So it
why,
goes back to
so
ages.
why are you taking a neutral position? You should proudly say it is Odia.
Sir, I would like to claim it for Odisha.
Yeah, of course, it is Odia. You should. It is for us, outsiders who can take a neutral position. For you, and it has been proven now. I
Yes,
think
sir.
judicially.
even sociologically, the Moiras cooking for the Bengalis when the state was one were Orias, you see.
Right.
The
Yes, sir.
Bhadralok were not doing the cooking in their Ranagars.
Yes,
So
sir.
I don't think you have to be
Yeah, defensive about it. Yeah.
defensive about
Okay,
it.
sir.
Unless there is a Bengali on the board.
Okay, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You have a great chance. Two things: just master your DAF. Anything possible. Just sit down with it yourself. Identify 150 questions out of it
Okay, sir.
yourself. All right,
Okay, sir.
and write notes from the newspapers.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.